Hello friends, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're gonna review the camera on the Letv. So this device comes with a 13 megapixel rear camera with a LED flash. So this is a single LED flash and also a 5 megapixel front facing camera. So this is one of the really value for money budget smartphones which is priced just 10,999 and comes with a full HD display, MediaTek Helio X10 octa-core chipset and 3 gigs of RAM. So let's open the camera interface and see how good the interface is and also the features offered by the camera app, and also see how the camera performance both in daylight, low light and also in the video recording. So let's open the camera app. So this is the camera interface. So you can see here it does come with almost all features, and the camera interface does have a feeling of the iOS app. So you can see there is slow motion, video recording mode, photo and the panorama option. On the top we have the settings. So if you go to the settings, we have delayed shot, shutter sound, store location, exposure. Then you can set the picture size 13 megapixel, 10 megapixel and 8 megapixel. And if you go, there is other options like white balance, ISO, contrast, exposure. All those things are included, but there is no manual mode where you can control everything in single go. But here we have all the options, but they are in the settings panel. And then we have the option to switch to front facing camera here, and option to enable or disable flash. So these are the options in the photo mode. If you go to the video recording mode, you can see video recording is available at 4K, that's 16:9, 1080p, 720p and 480p. So those are the options in video recording. Again, in video recording you have shutter sound and stored location. Then there is slow motion available. So you can just slide here and take slow motion videos. And finally we have the panorama mode. So these are the options available. At the bottom you can see this option. If you click this, you get filters. So these are some of the filters included in the camera app. So you can easily choose the filters and select them when taking the photos. So now let's quickly take a capture and see the performance. So this is the photo we are going to take, and if you can see, when I touch to focus, you can see the exposure values changing a lot. So that is one of the biggest issues with the camera. The exposure values change drastically even when you touch to focus. So that's one big issue, and some of the shots taken with this device have this issue with overexposed images. But if the exposure comes correct, the video, this images are pretty good overall. So now we are taking a sample. So it's pretty good. In terms of the performance, it's pretty fast. Interface is quick to respond, and the tap to focus also works pretty well. It has face detection, autofocus. The only issue is the exposure. Especially when you tap to focus, the exposure changes drastically, and at times the exposure values goes haywire when you tap to focus. So that's one of the issues. Now let's see other options included. So if you just swipe from bottom, you can see another option. This is the HDR, night mode, square and scene mode. So this setting is not really user friendly. Most of the users might miss this option. You can see just available only for the photos. HDR is there, and the night mode is there, square and a scene mode. So these are the options available. So if you can select each one, you can go to them, and you can select different scene modes are available: landscape, beach, portrait, sports and snow mode. So even HDR is also included. So these options are not really user friendly, but overall the camera interface is pretty easy to use, not much of an issue, and it's pretty fast as well. Now let's have a look at some of the samples taken with this device. So as you can see from the photos, the daylight shots taken in bright sunlights have come decent photos. The overall clarity and sharpness levels are decent, but then again the exposure values changes quite a bit, and it's not really accurate. It's not consistent rather. At times you get the proper exposure or exposed images, while at times the exposure goes haywire. So that's one big issue with this device. But having said that, if you get the real correct shot, it does produce some great detailing. The sharpness levels are also pretty good. The colors are okay. It's not as vivid as on a 5X or even the K4 Note at times, but the overall quality looks quite good for a budget smartphone. Now talking about the low light abilities, this phone does impress with a decent low light imaging abilities. So considering that this is a budget smartphone, you can see some of the samples taken with adequate lighting. They have come pretty good. Noise levels are kept to minimal level, and this is kind of good in this budget segment. So the low light imaging ability is quite good on this device. And another issue with the camera on the LeEco is the flash. So you can see some of the photos taken with flash, and you can see the flash completely overexposes the images when you're taking it in close-up. So it's not really a great flash experience. So you can see the images are completely overexposed and the flash performance is pretty poor on this device. Now talking about the macro captures or the close-up shots, so you can see some of the close-up shots here. Again, when you tap to focus, the exposure changes drastically. So that's one thing, one big issue. So if you're taking close-up shots, it's better not to use the tap to focus. Using the autofocus is the better option. And once you get the correct exposure values, it does produce some decent shots overall. The color quality also looks quite good in the macro captures. So overall, we would say this camera is a decent performer altogether. If not the best, we would say the Honor 5X and Lenovo's K4 Note slightly outperforms this device in the camera department, especially with not really great consistency in photos on the LeEco. Now talking about the video recording, again this is just an average recording, not really that great. The sharpness levels are decent, but again colors look slightly washed out at times, and overall 1080p sample looks quite average. So the video recording is just hit and miss affair on this device. It's not really the best. You can definitely get some decent quality shots using the LeEco camera. Now there is also an additional option to record videos in 4K. We already uploaded a 4K sample on our YouTube channel, so you can check out that and see the quality of the 4K recording. So now talking about the front facing camera. So this is the front facing camera unit, and here again we have some options. You can see delayed photo, then we have shutter sound, stable capture, store location, picture size can be set, and you can also flip the images. So these are the options. And if you go to recording mode, we have 1080p front facing camera recording. So that's something really good. So it does support 1080p in the front facing camera. Now the front facing camera again looks quite good. The sharpness and the overall detailing looks good, but then the colors have not really come good, especially the skin colors. It does turn reddish in nature at times, and you have to manually edit them before you share. That's one issue, because even in bright sunlight the reddish issue has appeared. So we are not sure whether this is related to our unit, but then the front facing cameras definitely performs pretty well, but the color quality was not really that great. So that's the camera on the LeEco 13 megapixel rear camera and 5 megapixel front facing camera. So all in all, what do we feel about this camera? So we would say this is a decent camera in this budget category. It's not really the best in this category. We would say Honor 5X performs better than this with overall great consistency in colors and overall clarity. That's one better aspect about the Honor 5X. The consistency and overall quality doesn't match up with Honor 5X on the LeEco. Also at times the Lenovo's Vibe K4 Note was much better in terms of the overall color quality than the LeEco. But having said that, it's not a bad camera. You need to figure out how to get the best shot. That's one big issue with this device. The exposure values are one major hit and miss affair. So that was the camera review on the LeEco. Hope you liked this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.